Hi there, I'm Cynthia Hand, author of Unearthly, and this is my wall of all things Unearthly. Back in 2009, when I was drafting my initial draft of Unearthly, I lived in a different house than I live in now, and I put all of this stuff up on the dining room wall. Maps and pictures that inspired me, and postcards, and all kinds of things that really sort of got me going and grounded me in the world that I wanted to be in, which happened to be Jackson Hole, Wyoming. And I would sit at the dining room table with my laptop and just type, and then every now and then I would jump up and look at something on the wall just for reference or to figure out where I was in the town or anything like that. And when I moved to this house, I kept that up. I bought four large cork boards in my office, and I put all of the same stuff up, plus a little bit of new stuff for Hallowed when I was writing it. So it's sort of, but mostly it stayed pretty much the way that I had it when I was writing Unearthly, because the settings are really the same in Unearthly and Hallowed. And now I'm about to take it down, because I'm writing book 3, and it's time for me to start researching more of the sort of California setting and Italy setting that Clara is sort of moving through in book 3, and so it's time for my wall of all Unearthly to come down and my wall of book 3 to come up. And that's sort of bittersweet for me to take it all down, but I wanted to just take a few minutes to sort of go over it with you and record it on tape, just so that we'd be able to look back on the wall with love after it's gone. So I'll try to sort of walk you through everything that's on here, and I hope you enjoy it. This first thing at the top here is my map of Jackson Hole, and this was really a fundamental thing for me to have when I was writing. I really wanted Unearthly to take place in a real city with real places, and so this was a really cool map too, because it's not just a city map, it's kind of like this overhead view, so you can see how, like, up here, you know, here are the mountains up here, and there's just all kinds of you just sort of see the city the way that it's situated in the hills, so I really like that. And I used to have it all highlighted, like, let's see, let's find a place that you'd know from Unearthly. Oh, right here. This is the antler archway where Clara's hair begins to glow for the first time. And then down over here is Bubba's restaurant, where Clara and Tucker go on their very first date. It's actually on the other side of the street now, but at the time that I was writing it, it was over here. And I highlighted all of those things in a bright green, but over the years they've sort of dulled to this sort of light green. This is a postcard of Jackson Hole, how it looks sort of from afar, and some of my favorite pictures of the Tetons up there. I've got lots of pictures of the Tetons because I'm in love with those mountains and they're just awesome, so I've got tons. See? Pretty, pretty, pretty. And here's my mountain guide. It's all the different peaks of the Tetons, and then it has the name of each peak and valley so that I could sort of keep track of it. And over here, don't get too excited, but this was a picture that I posted really early when I was thinking about Christian. Now, I don't think this guy looks exactly like Christian. Christian's a little darker, has a little more refined face, but I was really thinking his hair was the same when I first started drafting this book. Now I kind of think Christian's hair is a little wavier than this, you know, but that was one of the first sort of Christian pictures. This is a postcard of a post-fire Tetons, so kind of what the sky looks, that orangey look after a fire, which I really love. And then if we come over here, here's a picture of the Tetons at night, and a picture of that area in the different times of year, winter, spring, summer, and fall. And that was really helpful to me because I grew up near here, about 2.5 hours from Jackson Hole, Wyoming, but I was always sort of an outsider to this place. It's just somewhere that I visited a lot. And most of the time when I visited Jackson, it was in the summer, and a couple times in the winter if I went there to ski, but mostly it was the summer. And I didn't have a lot of experience with it in the spring or the fall, and even not too much experience in the winter, so it was nice for me to have like a reference on how the sort of area looks the different times of year. This is one of my favorite photos. It's just printed on white computer paper with black ink, and this is a picture by Lauren Withrow. I just sort of stumbled on her on Flickr, and she does all of these great photographs. And this one I particularly loved, with the shining in the background and sort of the particles of dust being lit up in the air, and it really inspired me about what Clara's hair sort of looked like when it was shining. I just loved that photo. So right here is your Maxfield Guide to Yellowstone and Grand Teton National Park trees and shrubs, and that was just me sort of studying all of the local flora and fauna. And down here is particular importance to Unearthly is the lodgepole pine, Pinus contorta, and slopes, mountains, and burned areas. And of course this is a big clue that Clara has on when she's trying to figure out where it is that they go, that the vision takes place. Down here is Clara's school schedule for, this is the one for Unearthly. I also have one printed for Hallowed, and this is everybody's school schedule, actually. So it shows what Clara was doing, you know, what all the classes were like for Clara, Jeffrey, Wendy, Angela, Tucker, and Christian, you know, what classes that they had, what classes they had together, that sort of thing. And this was so fun for me to do. I got most of this class information right out of the catalog for the real Jackson Hole High School, and sort of planned all of their school curriculums and their electives and everything like that. And that was fun to do, and also really helped me when I was trying to figure out what would happen at school. You know, like I always knew where the characters were and where they sort of intersected, and that was really great. And a fun part. The only class that did not happen in Jackson Hole High School was a British history class, and I based that British history class on a class that I had at Bonneville High School in Idaho Falls. Go Bees! And that was a really awesome class, and I just sort of wanted to put it into Clara's high school experience because it had been such a fun part of mine. Okay, so moving on. Right here is a map of Grand Teton National Park. So that big blue spot in the middle is Jackson Lake, where Clara and Tucker boat around all the time, and Jenny Lake is the little lake a little farther south of that, and that's where Clara jumps off Inspiration Point and flies for the first time. And I could mark again all the places where important stuff happens, including the big fire at the end. Over here, that is the ski map for the Jackson Hole ski area at Teton Village. And that's where Clara learns to ski. So I have like all the lifts and you know, all of the trails and things that Clara skis there, all the black diamonds and blue squares and green circles that Clara goes through. And then last but not least, oh wait, I wanted to show you my other post-fire picture. Ooh, I like that one. And then here is the anatomy of a bird's wing. And that was something that I really wanted to pay attention to when I was writing about Clara's wings, and I really wanted to understand what a bird's wing looked like and sort of how it operated so that I could try to replicate that. And I actually had a lot more about Clara's wings written in my initial version of Unearthly because I really sort of wanted to get it right. But then I learned a little bit later that when you're writing something that's supernatural, you really don't want to call too much attention to the supernatural elements. So it's sort of like in Jaws, you know, like what makes that movie extra super scary is you don't see the shark too much, you just sort of see glimpses. And so I sort of took the approach that we don't want to really see Clara's wings too much, and we don't really want to see her fly too much because we don't want to really stretch the belief of the people who are reading. And so I really limited the amount of flight that she did, and she wasn't just flapping around all the time, and we don't see her with her wings out all the time. And so I really sort of scaled back on how much description I gave to her wings and how they worked. Also because her wings are sort of multidimensional. They sort of can change form and exist in on a different level, like Angela can change her wings to look like a moth's wings, you know. So I didn't want to make it so absolutely true to what a bird's wings do, because it, you know, they don't function exactly the same way. So, yeah. And I think that's about it, my whole wall. I'll step back and look at the whole thing one last time. Oh. It was really fun. I really am a big proponent of writing about settings and really getting to know your settings and writing about places that your heart loves. And this was really a place that my heart loved, and I'll be sorry to not be writing as much about it this time around. But I have other places my heart loves too, and so it's time for them to have a turn. But anyway, so that's my wall, and I hope that you could see it in the dim light and that you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed showing you. And thanks. I'll see you around soon.